Hello and welcome to another episode of Statford Bridge, Chelsea by the numbers. Uh, Chelsea lose away to Bayern 3-1. People got real big mad about this game, and I don't think it was a game worth getting big mad about. Chelsea lose 3-1. They were beaten pretty comfortably by Bayern. And, 16 shots to 9, 2.1 to 0.7 XG. There's a penalty in there. So really it's something like a 1.4, 1.3 to zero point 0.7. My model had the game handicapped at like Bayern minus 0.6. So like 2/3 of an expected goal. And, I think watching it back, and I will admit I didn't watch it live. I watched it back later. I don't think it felt as close as 2-1 on XG with a penalty. Like, I think Bayern did feel legitimately comfortably better than Chelsea. But I think ultimately the place that I get hung up is like Bayern are actually good. Like, I saw people saying Bayern sucks. Bayern don't suck. Like, Kane would be Chelsea's best player. Elise would be Chelsea's third best player. Kimmich is unbelievable. Upamecano would be Chelsea's best center back by so far. Like, Ta, I think, is probably better than all of the non-Colwill center backs at Chelsea. Luis Diaz starts every single game for Chelsea. Like, this is not some bummy team. Kim Min-jae, I think, is very good. Goretzka is very good. Like, this is a real team. And you're playing them away with a team who, like, almost every single player in the squad has not played in the Champions League before. Or if they have, it's exceedingly rare. Like, I think there was a lot of desire to compare this to PSG, which I think is a fair point to make. It's the last, like, really good team Chelsea have played. They played them in the Club World Cup final. They smashed them. A couple differences. One, that was kind of an even rest playing field. Chelsea were significantly less rested than Bayern, given Bayern were not traveling. They also like smashed Dweeberg or something on the weekend. Chelsea had a very hard game against Brentford. All of those things. Also, the Club World Cup final was predominantly Chelsea fans. That is not going to the, like, Bayern are a legit crowd. Like, it's a hard place to play. And I think, like, uniquely strategically, I think Bayern are also, like, probably better suited to playing Chelsea than Chelsea were. And even then, we want to talk about the shape of the game. We can talk about game state. And I think one of the things that's really, really important, 5 minutes into the game, Enzo Fernandez gets this humongous chance in a transition that was eerily reminiscent of his goal against Liverpool. If he scores that, Chelsea are winning the game 1-0 and now can defend however they want to defend. They don't have to be as cavalier in the press, blah, 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 blah. The game is probably going to go very differently. All of those things have to be kept in mind. Now, I look at this and I say Chelsea lose 3-1 away to Bayern in a game that Bayern are pretty comfortably better than them. What does this mean? And to me, the short and not super fun answer is it means nothing to me, because I think Chelsea are probably the 8th to 10th best team in Europe. They're probably the 4th best team in England. This feels correct to me. Like, they don't feel that close to the 4 best teams in the world. I think that's reasonable. I don't think they're as good as Arsenal or Liverpool or PSG or Bayern or Barca. Like, I don't think they're in that true Champions League winner tier. I think they're firmly in the middle of the next tier of them and Real Madrid and whoever else is in that kind of tier. You know what I mean? I don't City and Inter and whatever you want. Like, I don't. That's okay. So I look at this, I'm like, this is fine. This is what I expected. It's not altogether unsurprising. And it's good to learn these things. It's good to learn these things, especially now. And so what did we learn? A couple things. I think there's a lot of consternation about the Reece James thing. Like, don't do Reece James in midfield. And I agree that I think it has mostly not worked almost all the times he has played in midfield. However, Chelsea's best performance under Maresca and probably their best performance in 4 years was with Reece James in midfield in the Club World Cup final. So I understand him going back to that well and being like, well, what can we do to make that work? Now, this game was very different than PSG because like Chelsea couldn't really go direct to Gusto in behind as much. All of those things matter. But I think it's fair to question, okay, James in midfield, maybe not the one, particularly when you see Andre come on, and I thought Andre looked really good when he came on. He had a really, really nice pass in behind for a Cole Palmer chance that ended up by a Cole Palmer goal that ended up being offside. And I think it's fair to be like, all right, what's happening with Andre? I think the second thing that came up was like Chalobah and Tosin aren't good enough. That was a thing a lot of people were saying. I think Chalobah is definitely good enough. I think he's going to get hammered because of the own goal, which I think is somewhat unfair because if you go watch the clip, I don't know how Tosin or Sanchez or Cucurella don't deal with it. And like it goes past 4 guys and he's at the back post and he's trying to get out of the way. Like I don't think that's a particularly fair criticism. Somebody said that I don't criticize Trev because I fancy him looks wise. And it's true. I do fancy Trev. I think we saw with Tosin, like, yes, he is a useful in possession player. I think he's a good passer, not a great passer. I think Harry Kane just like absolutely ragdolls him the whole game with movement. And we see the third goal goes through his legs. Again, like he cannot recover, defend. He is like gangly and his footwork sucks and he gets done in these like awkward 1v1s and it goes through his legs. Not great. Yeah, I think against the very best teams in the world, I think Trev and Tosin is not a good enough center back pairing for you to win a whole lot. The nice thing is that against almost every other team Chelsea will play, it's probably fine. It will be fine against United on the weekend. It will be fine the next weekend against Brighton. It will probably have a hard time with Liverpool. It will be fine against all of their other Champions League games except against probably Barcelona. Like, fine. That's the reality. Now, the question to me is like, you probably, given that they are not so good, you're going to win things, you should probably be thinking about other bodies. Like, how much is Josh Achampong going to play center back? How much is Wesley Fofana going to play center back? How much is Benoit Badiashile going to play center back when he's back? I think those are all fair questions to ask of like, do you really want to sink a season into these guys playing together? But like, give me the player Chelsea were supposed to buy this summer that was the obvious get. And it's like guys who played for Lille and were like, whatever. And it's just a whole and projects like Malik Tia and like guys that you cannot tell me with a high degree of certainty are better than Trev and Tosin. I don't even think Tosin's that good. It's just I don't think it's a very strong center back market right now. I think the one you look at and you're like, oh, Christian Mosquera, that guy's pretty good. But again, Arsenal are so much more compact defensively than Chelsea are. Like, does he look like this for Chelsea? I don't know. That's a fair question. I think Cole Palmer as a winger looked really good. That's the thing people didn't talk about today. I think Palmer, when he plays on the right, that's the one. Like when he plays as a 10, he's not as effective a goal scorer, but when he plays on the right, like the guy gets unbelievable shot locations whenever he wants. And I think that's tremendously valuable. I think one of the big tactical things we saw was like João Pedro does not do enough striker things in terms of pressuring the back line to get him behind. I had a text message from friend of the pod, Dylan Payne, who sent me, in 242 minutes as a 9, João Pedro has amassed 0 shots on goal, 3 shots, 1.1 per 90, 1 assist, 0.2 non-penalty expected goals and expected assists per 90, and 4 box touches. And then the grimace face 4 times. I think that's fair. And it's one of the things we said about João Pedro is like, if he's going to be a 9 all the time, I don't know if there's enough goal output for him. And if you're going to play a 10, if you're going to play a real midfield 3, he probably has to score. If you play Palmer and 2 wingers, you can probably get away with it. But if he's going to play with a midfield 3, he has to do more as a 9. I mean, the next one that came up was like Neto. I think Neto was like very ineffective today. I think he looked really tired, and I think he struggled to impact the final third. I thought Garnacho looked much better when he came on. So I think what you get to, I think Enzo Fernandez did not have a great game. I don't think Caicedo had a great game. I just don't think Chelsea played that well. I thought they played pretty poorly, and I think that's okay that sometimes you play poorly against good teams and you lose, and that's the reality of football. But I think there's like 2 bigger picture things that have me actually concerned. One is what's going to happen with the 9. Because if Mark Guiu can't even come on in this game, like are you just going to run João Pedro until he dies? Like what's going to happen with the 9s? I think that's an open question. And the second question is, this team played Brentford on Saturday. Started, 40 minutes, like half an hour, started, obviously goalkeeper, who cares? What is the team going to be for United? Because I look at it and say, well, Chalobatos and Cucurella, I guess Cucurella didn't start, Hato started. Chalobatos and Cucurella are all going to start. Sanchez is going to start. Caicedo's going to start. Enzo's going to start. Palmer's going to start, probably. Is that wise, him coming back from injury? I don't know. Can you not start João Pedro? Probably not. Neto always starts. And so now it's like, it's probably going to be Estevao maybe, or is it Garnacho, who starts at right back? And all of a sudden you get to a place where like you're just starting the same team again. The same team who hit the 55th minute and died physically. They looked very, very tired compared to Bayern. Struggled to get anything really going in the second half. That's my thing. And again, you come into this, team is dead on their feet, 3 subs only, 68, 68, 81. Like, you're telling me you couldn't bring Guiu for João Pedro at 60 minutes, 70 minutes, and just say run? Like, once you concede the third goal, just be like, all right, just run. You couldn't bring Josh at right back. You couldn't bring Andre much earlier. You can bring Garnacho or Estevao earlier. You can bring, like, get whoever you choose in this circumstance. Like, is that really setting you up for a good physical outing against United? I don't know. And that's the thing that, like, the alarm bells throughout the season got worse and worse and worse because the sub minutes went like this throughout the year. He started really good, and then it went do, fewer subs. So, like, the sub alarm bells are there. We will see. But I think the big thing that's going to decide how Chelsea's season goes, as much as, like, the talent on the pitch is what it is Maresca going to keep guys fit? And is he going to keep the team fresh and healthy? I thought he did a pretty good job of it last year. I also think he was given an easy mode version of squad rotation last year with the Conference League where he could rotate 11 players. You can't do that this year. So you have to be much more deliberate about when am I subbing? Who am I getting here? Okay, this game, can I get a substitute appearance of this player instead of a start? This, international breaks. Chelsea have a lot of internationals. Key starters are all going to South America. Like, João Pedro, Fernandez, Caicedo, Garnacho, Estevao, Andre Santos are all going to South America every window because I suspect Garnacho will get back into the Argentine national team. Like, you have to manage that. That's hard. And we'll see how Maresca does. I think that's going to be the thing that decides how things go. Anyways, that's all for me. Not so much data, just like complaining. The last thing I will say about this game is, like, I don't often want to engage in, like, meta commentary of, like, how people are reacting to games, but this perhaps was the most embarrassing reaction from Chelsea fandom online I have perhaps ever seen, and certainly in a long time. Like, Bayern are very good. Harry Kane is one of the best forwards to ever play football. And people are like, wow, this is embarrassing. No passion. I can't believe how this is. Like, no, relax. Act like you've been there before. Very, very, like, we haven't been in Champions League in 4 years and everybody's anxious about it. But, like, very embarrassing online today. Other interesting things that happened. The U19s, or the Youth League team, beat Bayern 3-2. Harrison Murray Campbell scored a unbelievable goal. So that was interesting. And Kasper Stilsvig, who Chelsea hired from, they poached him from AC Milan. And I want to say from Spotify, but that might just be me like characterizing him because he's Scandinavian. But Kasper Stilsvig from AC Milan, who was their main commercial guy to get one of these, a shirt sponsor, the big money name on the front of a kit, which Chelsea have not had for almost 18 months now. And I was told very explicitly by everyone, oh, you're an idiot for being concerned. They're drumming up a bidding war. Well, they just fired him because he didn't leave. He was let go. And they still don't have a shirt sponsor. So you tell me what to think. I said it would be very alarming if they didn't have it by the beginning of the season, because you never know how things go. Chelsea, I think, have started the season fine, but we are now out of the first international break, and we still don't have a shirt sponsor. So that's a lot of money. Again, they probably have conservatively cost themselves something like £100 million in sponsorship deals since they took over. I don't know. You tell me what's going to happen there. So we'll see. Anyways, that's all from me. We play United on the weekend. We'll stream on the weekend. We'll talk about it from there. As always, enjoy the soccer.